After 1189 days, the GOAT of Jujutsu Kaisen is back. Satoru freaking Gojo is finally unsealed. Jujutsu Kaisen just dropped the most insane chapter of the year, because not only do we witness Gojo's comeback, but he faces off against Kenjaku and has a standoff with the King of Curses, Sukuna himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Satoru Gojo is him.
This means something to me, man.
This chapter was absolute fire, and it's time to go. And it's time to go. Now in chapter 220, Yuji and his gang had gathered for the final attempt at ending the culling game. A major part of this strategy was to free Gojo, but it was easier said than done. For one, Gojo was to blame because he destroyed both the inverted spear of heaven and the black rope, two cursed tools that could have unlocked the prison realm.
Hey bro, come on now, dawg.
However, 131 chapters later, the team secured the cooperation of Angel, who had the power of curse technique nullification and was the only one who could unravel the binding of the prison realm. This didn't come without its sacrifices, as Kenjaku's fight with Yuki and Tengen made them lose their lives. But Choso, he retrieved the back of the prison realm. However, yet another huge problem presented itself. It was Gojo again. Well, more specifically, it was his mental state. Gojo got sealed on October 31st in Shibuya, and it has only been 19 days since the horrific events orchestrated by Kenjaku, as it is November 19th currently in the manga. However, according to Angel, time does not flow in the prison realm as it does in the real world. So what she means is that for Gojo, it could have felt like just a second or 100 years of waiting. Naturally, anyone stranded in an absolute time standstill for that long would be super confused once they are out. Hakairi adds that it's like a time machine where you won't die of starvation or aging. In fact, Angel even theorizes that being sealed for so long could have adversely distorted Gojo's psyche to the point that he might even turn evil. Highlighting once again to all of us that Sukuna is a fully realized Gojo if he chose to be just like him, acting on his instincts. And let's be honest, we wouldn't want that, would we? As Shoko says that it would be dangerous to unseal a mentally unstable Gojo. He is no different from us all, as he is only human after all, right?
Wrong!
The squad prepared to unseal Gojo, expecting the worst. Literally as if a nuke was about to go off, as they waited for Angel to use her power, Jacob's ladder on the prison realm, but it suddenly disappeared.
Oh no.
Well, this is Satoru freaking Gojo we're talking about, and normality is not in his dictionary, which is why Shoko and Hana began suspecting Gojo to be the problem again. As Jacob's ladder abides by God's law and is used to destroy evil spirits such as Sukuna. So if Gojo was just like him, maybe he got destroyed. However, they didn't know that after 1189 days, Gojo's return had to be absolutely earth-shattering. Literally. Yup. Yuji and his friends felt a whole ass earthquake as Gojo got unsealed from the front of the prison realm, which Kenjaku had taken with him. Now, being the big brain he is, to prevent its unsealing, Kenjaku had buried it 8,000 meters under the ground at the Japan Trench, unlike, you know, the 6 feet his current body should be in. But on top of that, he put detectors with cursed spirits inside a multi-layered seal. He had already gained knowledge about the back of the prison realm after absorbing Tengen like a Pokemon, and was pretty sure that even if the seal is broken, Gojo will die. But that didn't mean shit to Gojo, as he legit broke out of the ground within a second to stare down at Kenjaku, and holy shit, Soko. This is the most hype comeback I've ever seen in a manga in a very long time. Gojo is on a different level, fam.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Breaking out a 8,000 meter trench just goes to show why the manga confirmed Gojo could destroy an entire country on his own. But with a feat like this, it's so easy for him to take over the entire planet if he chose to be evil. With chapter 221, we can see that it feels like he's not even been gone for a day, but Gojo's vibe is completely different. He knows the enemy and he's determined to take them down at all costs, without even stopping for the emotional value of his dead best friend, Suguru Geto, as that was the very reason why he got sealed last time. Instead, he declares to Kenjaku, "You should choose your last words more carefully. After all, they'll be your last." Now, as Kenjaku tries to provoke Gojo, despite putting up his icy demeanor, it's clear that Gojo is evidently full of rage because of Kenjaku abusing Geto's body for his devious plan. Kenjaku is someone that laughed after surviving a black hole and took all the other sorcerers lightly. Yet, in front of Gojo, we see him his pants instantly for the first time in 1,000 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very significant moment for Gojo, as Kenjaku embodies everything he has lost so far. Even though he is the strongest, he couldn't understand the one person closest to him during his downward spiral, nor could he protect him. Because of that one mistake, Gojo became victim to two moments of weakness. One, when he didn't dispose of Geto's body, and two, when Kenjaku used the same person to completely overwhelm Gojo as a trap. This change in emotion is a complete contrast, as Geto's death was the whole reason Gojo turned to becoming a light-hearted teacher that nurtured others, right? He didn't want others to feel lonely, stated in chapter 220. On top of the whole reason he was sealed was the hesitation he felt having to kill his best friend again in Shibuya. These became the keystones to a chain reaction that altered the course of the Jujutsu Society. In fact, the whole world, as Kenjaku kick-started the Culling Games, which he had planned for more than 1,000 years, and in the process, indirectly or directly, killed a lot of Gojo's allies, including, Nanami, Principal Yaga, Nobara, and even Yuki. It's clear that the losses Gojo has to face all stem from one man, which has him feeling like this on the inside, if let's be honest. But there's another foil to Gojo's plans and the bane of Megumi and Yuji's existence. Speak of the devil, he's here! Just when Gojo was about to destroy Kenjaku, the one and only King of Curses intervened.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Round 2 is about to start. Sukuna completely saves Kenjaku, but this is the moment we have been looking forward to. The clash of two divine beings, the honored ones, the enlightened sorcerers, right? Remember guys, in chapter 3, Sukuna had stated that when I make this kid's body mine, you'll be the first one I kill. And he is living up to his word. As soon as Sukuna sensed Gojo's presence, he rushed to battle him. But my man Gojo is the ultimate menace because he straight up disrespects Sukuna. What? That's right. Sukuna reminds Gojo of his threat from earlier, saying he would kill him.
Wow, very dangerous!
All for Gojo to say that Sukuna fled from Yuji's body with his tail between his legs. Who are you to talk to me like that, ya pussy? That's what he did.
Personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Gojo instantly notices that Megumi has changed whilst he was gone, once again showing that he is not letting emotional vulnerability overpower his senses. Ever since he took over Megumi's life in chapter 79, Gojo raised him as his own son. Megumi unknowingly gave a purpose to Gojo's life, as he chose to change the Jujutsu Society from the inside out. Realistically, Gojo loves Megumi as his own and wants the best for him. That's why he trained him since the very beginning and taught him morality like any good father would, such as the philosophy of death in chapter 58, the childhood backstory with Hana in chapter 210, and also motivating him to become as strong as him in chapter 117. As Gojo said previously, nobody will ever need to be alone again. It started with Megumi because even he had seen the worst of the Jujutsu world, with his parents abandoning him and the Zenins only caring about his curse technique. Which is why it's absolutely shocking in chapter 221 that Gojo shows the mildest reaction to Sukuna taking over his foster son's body. After all, he is him, but guess who forgot that? Who? This bitch. Instead of realizing the danger of going up against Satoru freaking Gojo and using her brain for a second that there must be a reason for Sukuna to not attempt another kill immediately at this roast moment, Uraume jumps in to get bodied within 1 second.
You know he did.
This is payback for what Sukuna had done to Yuji when he took over Megumi's body. Gojo has his team's back. Move aside, Saitama, because Gojo made Uraume, who had survived for 1,000 years, remember each one of her ancestors in a single punch, bitch. And again, Akadami is not even bothering to pretend that he cares about the female characters at this point, because he just offed one of them as soon as their role is fulfilled by giving Sukuna his ball. Like, come on, there's a trend going on here. That's 5 female characters in a row now. They fulfilled their roles and now you're dead. Anyway, this punch goes to show that even in the Shibuya incident, Gojo was severely holding back and fooling around until his domain amplification. He doesn't even flinch whilst killing her, as she's nothing more than a small fry in this game of monsters. But before they could actually fight, of course the brain had to intervene and remind Sukuna of a mysterious agreement they had made.
Move this man!
Now this is an interesting piece of information because we know that Kenjaku, Tengen and Sukuna are the oldest entities in the Jujutsu Kaisen story, and they existed at the same time. There's definitely a deep running relationship between them, as in chapter 208, Kenjaku referred to Tengen as a friend. But this massive revelation now explains why Sukuna has been putting up with Kenjaku's behavior of acting, you know, friendly and even letting him pry into stuff like the bath ritual. That being said, an agreement between a vicious sorcerer turned curse object and a mastermind of 1,000 years cannot be anything good for our gang, even if Gojo is finally back in the picture. Speaking of which, this exchange does not faze him at all, as he continues being the most menaced person in the room per usual. He roasts both of them, stating that to think the great Sukuna would nicely obey instructions his mommy knit on his hanky. Oh, Sukuna, you remind me. This is so plain, bro. He don't understand. This is pink. So with their secret binding vow and Gojo no longer holding back, it reminds him that he also has some things he needs to take care of before fighting Sukuna. For example, needing to regroup with his allies and completely understanding the situation. In fact, he didn't just go into this fight for no reason. The real reason was that he wanted Geto's body to have a proper burial, meaning that he had full intentions to kill Kenjaku as soon as he came out. Gojo also discovers that Kenjaku and Sukuna have some sort of binding vow, and it actually surprises him that Sukuna would work with anyone, let alone a rotten brain taking over people's bodies. After all, he is in the best position to understand the mindset of him, who also wields unimaginable power and can wreak havoc at any moment he feels like. This once again comes back to what Geto told Gojo in chapter 78, when he questioned Geto's goal of killing all non-sorcerers. He states, "You could do it, Satoru. You're trying to convince me that it's impossible when you yourself could do it." Meaning that Gojo could pick any goal, be it ending the Jujutsu Society's corruption or simply uprooting the cause of curse energy like Geto, and he could accomplish it all very easily because of his strength. This alone sets him a world apart from the humans and cursed spirits both, just like Sukuna, who is in a different league of his own. The chapter affirms this by bringing back Yoruzu's words to Sukuna, that with the kind of absolute strength he possesses, he must be lonely. But the one who will teach him about love is... Wait, what? Hold up, y'all. It's not like what you think it is.
Bro, if I was a girl, legs wide open, bro.
It's actually about Sukuna meeting someone of his own caliber. His loneliness is hinting at his desire to fight someone on his level. It's evident that he is totally incapable of feeling love, and he lives only for his pleasure of battle. However, with great power comes a great lack of opponents, let's be honest. Even though Yoruzu had the most spine amongst people Sukuna has fought until now, she was only alive because he was messing around with the 10 Shadows technique to suppress Megumi's soul and to tame it completely. It's been aeons since he had a taste of equal Jujutsu skill, and Gojo is going to be the one to deliver that. With a momentary postponement of the fight, Gojo asks Kenjaku and Sukuna what today's date is. He could have done that back at the base, but no, Satoru Gojo just declared the fixture of the final fight of Jujutsu Kaisen. He will face off against them on December 24th, about a month from now. Kenjaku scoffs at this and calls Gojo romantic because this is exactly 1 year after the events of the Night Parade of 100 Demons, the day Gojo killed Geto for the first time. But in the most badass way, Gojo replies that it would be complicated if there were 2 death anniversaries. Like, complete savage once again. Not only that, when Kenjaku asks if Kenjaku thinks he can win, we are reminded of chapter 3. Yuji had inquired how well Gojo would fare against 20 Fingers Sukuna. He had replied that if Sukuna were to completely regain his power, it might be a little tough. But when Yuji asked if he would lose, Gojo had the same answer for Kenjaku, declaring, "I will win." Despite being sealed for this long, nothing has eroded Gojo's confidence by even 1%. Though we have seen Sukuna's insane destruction and broken power-up, Gojo's blatant confidence is a reassurance that all is not lost. We still have to witness Gojo at 100%, which only gets more intense as he learns about the developments that took place in his absence with all his friends dying. It's beyond imagination that if Geto's loss alone impacted him so much, imagine everyone else. So with the fight being fixed and on the way, learn how strong Satoru Gojo exactly is with this video on your screen right now. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.